Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, rhony Legacy Edition. We've already recapped the first three episodes of this new season, of season four. That's technically their season four, even though we know Morocco was supposed to come first. As you know, Morocco is sort of on the kind of waiting in the wings, not sure if we're ever going to see it. I know some people have said that we're going to see it. Brandy Glanville has been out on social media slamming production, slamming Bravo, slamming, lawsuits and things like that, saying that, they may not have forced our hand to drink, but they definitely did not stop us and definitely on some level allegedly encouraged us. But a lot of people don't see it for Brandy because I think people don't take Brandy Glanville very serious because of past behavior. But it will be interesting to see if we end up seeing a Brandy on Bethany's podcast. Just saying. I'm surprised we haven't seen it already. But I also think that some people just don't like Bethany. Maybe they've had bad blood with Bethany over the years. Speaking of Bethany, I did see that Kyle Richards and Bethany were both in Aspen and they took a picture together. The families were together. And it would be interesting to see if there was any issue there. Because Bethany did sort of not slam Kyle, for lack of a better word, but she was critical of Kyle and what Kyle has become on the show. And that's part of the reason why they've sort of had this on again, off again relationship. I can see that. If Kyle doesn't have loyalty to her own family and her own children, okay, maybe not her own. Well, no, I mean, just the things that Kyle has done this season and that music video. Like, if you really value your family and you're going through a tough time, you don't do stuff like that. And I did just see a trailer, not a trailer, but like a sneak peek of the, oh no, it wasn't a sneak peek, it was the after show where Kyle was talking about how Dorit was feels like there's this distance and she was upset because she feels like Morgan Wade has sort of taken her place. And Kyle was just like, well, when she was talking about the K tattoo that she did on Morgan, she's like, oh, I just did that because I knew people would be like, oh my gosh. And I was just like, keep showing us who you really are, Kyle. But this recap is not about Kyle. It's really about Kelly Bensimon. I don't know about you. Episode 4 for me kind of not sealed the deal, but for me sort of made me go, where are we going? Because I felt like the first 3 episodes, although not the best of Ultimate Girls Trip, but I was like, all right, I'm in because, Dorinda's there. Luann's there. I actually like Kristen. So Kelly saying in this episode that, the fans aren't going to like you. You need to just be yourself and blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're such a fan. You're hosting, blah, blah. Kelly, I think you shouldn't have done reality television. I think you should have just left it where it was in your rearview mirror because you really do have a successful real estate career. And for anyone that watches real estate reality TV, Kelly has sort of been featured not as a mainstay, but sort of in the background. Well, not really a background, but you know what I mean? Like she's in real estate and she's a real estate agent. And we sort of have seen her on other shows if you follow any reality TV real estate shows. And I've seen her. That's how I've sort of been kept up with her. And she's no dummy. She's a very educated woman. But this is a reminder that some people personalities aren't great for television, and some personalities just don't get along with certain people. Just saying. And what we're seeing of Kelly in this season is exactly what we saw before. And I'm not even just talking about Scary Island. It's all of, mind you, I was reminded that Kelly was on 3 seasons of rhony, and I barely remember that. I could have sworn on a Bible that Kelly was only on for 1 season. I don't know why I thought that, and I've watched rhony more than any other city. I've watched that from season 1 to not the latest season, but probably like season 10, 11, multiple times, more than twice, maybe 3, maybe 4. Maybe 4. That's how much I loved rhony over the years. But I could not remember for the life of me that Kelly was on for that long. Her and Kristen were on the same amount of time, but different seasons. I didn't even remember that Kristen was on the same season as Dorinda. I was like, oh yeah. But I'm never good with stuff like that. You guys remind me of all the nitty gritty. Like, I have too much in my brain when it comes to not just Housewives, because we don't just talk about Housewives. We talk about everything in pop culture. So I have a lot of history. Like when we were talking about Diddy and that whole situation when that came out, I had to go back into the archives of my brain just to kind of dig up some of the stuff from over the years. There's a lot of stuff going on up in here. Okay. A lot. But you get what I'm saying? Like, so there's certain things I hold on to, certain things I remember, but I could not remember that she was on for 3 years. But that could also just mean like she wasn't that great of a housewife. And I really never looked at Kelly Ben-Simone as a great housewife. If I had to choose my legacy cast, she would not have been included. Kristen either. Sorry. But I feel like Kristen is showing up and is a lot more likable. At least in these first 3 episodes. Episode 4, I'm sort of like, do I like Kristen? There's a little something about her that feels a little... Because when they talk about the whole Holly Madison... Look, is it Holly Madison? Ashley Madison? Damn you, Sonja. Sonja and her world... Sonja has a gripe with not Kristen, but Kristen's husband. And it's very apparent because she brings it up. She brings it up how he shaded her business. But here's the thing. Everyone has tried to help Sonja over the years for free. Like, she had access to some really great entrepreneurial people. Oh, Heather Thompson. So we did a short talking about Heather Thompson posing up with this Blackamoor doorknob situation. She never released a statement. All she did, like almost 20 hours later, was delete it and then post a picture of her going, Heather, you really should have at least said something. Instagram story, like, I apologize, guys. I had no idea. Didn't know the history. And mind you, Heather has been around black people in the black culture for a long time. Remember, she used to work in, she worked with it wasn't Jay-Z, Diddy. Oh, I wonder what she has to say about Diddy. That would be an interesting thing. So I've really taken a digression. But Heather tried to help Sonja. I'm bringing it back around. Heather, Kristen Takeman's husband, Josh, tried to help Sonja. So Bethany tried to help Sonja. She had some of the best trying to help her launch her brand. So she still has taken it personal that he said what he said. That she was bananas. You were bananas, Sonja. And yes, you have a fashion line that went kaput after Century 21 went down, but now I think it's in Walmart. Century 21 has now opened up. That immediately I thought of Sonja when I saw the announcement that they were coming back. But Sonja has a gripe to bear with Kristen, and I'm like, Sonja, you need to let that go. What he was saying was true. You were delusional. You were all over the place. And I think everything that people have said and helped you with over the years has brought you to the point where, okay, she can make a little something. She's got a little something. I don't know if you have a worldwide, international lifestyle brand. Ain't nobody really checking for that. Because if you're working as hard as you're working, says to me that, yeah, the brand ain't the brand is not doing what it should be. Okay, and we already know Sonja Rita. We love Sonja Rita. Please do not take this, but we have to be real. Just because we love someone doesn't mean that we can't be honest with them. We're not that type of friend. Okay, but Sonja Rita, girl, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Because it feels like she wants to dig at Kristen because of what her husband said back then. The whole Ashley. And my thing is, Sonja, you can be upset about that. Bring that up. Don't try and bring up the whole Ashley Madison situation, because that probably was a very difficult time for Kristen and her family and her relationship. But they're still together. She has decided to forgive him, whatever it may be. But I'm glad they brought it up because I completely forgot about that whole story. I don't even think that played out when she was on the show. You guys will remind me in the live chat or in the replay crew. I don't remember if that played out while she was on the show. I think it was after she was gone. Because I don't get me lying. Don't get me lying. Anyways, so I felt like this episode, and normally I take notes, but Ultimate Girls Trip is hard to take notes because they're so all over the place. They're flashing back and things like that. So it's hard to keep up. But Dorinda, when she first came in this season, Dorinda likes to have a project, a person project. She likes to kind of have be like a mother to someone. And she is a mother to someone. But she always does this. You notice during season 2 of Ultimate Girls Trip, she did that with Brandy Glanville. I felt like she started to do that with Kelly Ben Simone, and that went left really quickly. And then mid-trip, she's like, I need to watch Scary Island because I need to have a better idea or understanding of why Kelly is the way she is. So she does, and she brings it up later to Kelly, and she's like, oh, so you're a fan now. So you're a fan. No, girl, she's trying to understand why you are the way that you are. And just when they think that they've moved on, they go right back to the same thing. And if anything, I'm really glad that Bethany didn't do this. And I think Bethany probably wouldn't have done it, even if she was considering doing it. If she knew that Kelly was going to be on the same season, she was probably like, I know exactly what they want. I'm not going to give it to them. I think Bethany was really mentally and physically frustrated with Kelly. And I can see how someone could get to a place of being mentally and physically frustrated with Kelly, because Kelly really sits there and makes it seem, she gaslights you like you're crazy. Like you don't know what you're talking about. And it comes from left field. And then when she's over here, then she comes from this over here from what you said the other day. Because when Kristen tried to have a conversation with her, she's just like, okay, this is not going anywhere. You're calling Andy Cohen. Kristen was like, this is a message from Kristen from Wichita, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Kelly will never get it. And if you try to make sense with someone like her, you are the fool. Because she's just going to continue to make it seem like she knows exactly what she's talking about. And yes, she's very educated, but I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand where she's coming from. I've already started rambling, but look, it is what it is. It is what it is. Guys, if you're just joining us and if you're listening to this, don't forget you can subscribe to the Kempire podcast. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It's the New Year's coming. I told you my goal. I want to get to 500 reviews both on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. So if you can do me a quick favor, I know you're around your family, tell everyone, like, go give this a 5-star. Go give this a 5-star. Thank you. Thank you. And the podcast is a great way for you to take me on the go. As I'm walking the streets of Tokyo, I'm like, I like having a podcast that I can listen to instead of, I know some of you maybe don't have YouTube Premium, so you're not able to listen to me on the go. So this is another great option for you guys to do. But also, don't forget, it's not just our live shows or YouTube videos that are available on the podcast. You're also getting special exclusive podcast episodes. You can listen to some of my interviews with people like Oprah Winfrey, Brandy, and most recently I did a special podcast talking about whether or not Mariah Carey should leave Christmas behind. It was an important conversation. It was an important conversation and an article where I examined what they were saying in regards to it. So if you missed it, be sure to check that out. And don't forget, video version of that episode and another episode that we did will be available on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to that channel as well. Anyways, I hope you guys, sidebar. Merry Christmas to those that celebrate. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. The season of Kwanzaa begins right this week as well. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Anyway, so back to this. So at the top of this episode, I'm going to be all over the place for the Ultimate Girls Trip episode 4, just because that is the theme. Because Kelly Ben Simone was all over the place in this episode. She was fighting with Dorinda. She was fighting with Kristen. She was fighting with Luann. I noticed that, you really don't get a lot of Ramona. I mean, you do get a little bit of Ramona, but Ramona's really pulled back, and I think it's intentional. I don't know what it is. I don't think that will be it for Ramona during the season, but we shall see. I know some of you do not even want to see Ramona on your TV screen, and a lot of you aren't watching it because of that. So some of you are just watching my recaps. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, please understand you're not getting a lot of Ramona. Yes, you're getting little bits of Ramona chiming in, but for the most part, at least these first 3 episodes, Dorinda, Kristen, and Kelly Ben Simone. And Luann is sort of like in everything. Anyways, speaking of them, first of all, this was in episode 3, though, I believe. Yes, when they were all in their van and they were all doing their cameos. I was like, y'all charge that much for a cameo? Y'all know y'all can get me cheaper on cameo. Whoa, 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 Kempire. Don't forget, the New Year is right around the corner. You can get me to do a cameo too. I love how they were all working together, hustling. It's kind of sad though, because when I'm watching that scene, you could tell that Luann is not in the financial place that people think that she is in. We already know Sonja isn't, and the one person that doesn't really do her cameos that much, but she does it because, you know, she's a businesswoman. She knows it's easy. It could be lunch money for her. But you could tell that whatever Ramona's doing financially, she's doing okay. Like, she's not as hard up for money as some of these other housewives. I think some of the things that she does now, even though she's been recently dropped from the real estate company that she worked for, I think she sort of does that because she's bored and she likes to make extra money. So it's interesting dynamic. It's an interesting dynamic that you see. But at the top of the episode, we have Kristen, Luann, and Dorinda talking about Kelly. And Kelly's she's not too far from them, and they're talking about her. And she's like, doing work. I got to hustle. I got to do this. I got to do that. So she's doing leg lifts, and Dorinda's like, look at me. I could do leg lifts and do business. Look, Kelly is doing real business. I mean, she's probably one of not the lucky ones. I'm not going to say she's lucky because she's definitely worked for what she has. But she's one of the rare few that are selling millions of dollars in real estate. And she's doing it in New York, and she's successful at it, which is probably part of me is surprised that she would even do Ultimate Girls Trip. But I'm not judging her because for her, even though people might look at her crazy or whatever it may be, it's going to help her. It's going to help her in a variety of ways. People that didn't know she does real estate will see her there. Some people will want to work with her because, oh, she's also famous, and that can also add, what's the word? It will add for getting other clients. Sometimes it could also hurt you where people are like, I don't know about her. Is she a good agent? Because what I saw on this show didn't reflect that. But let's be honest, people that are buying real estate from Kelly Ben Simone or are buying at this level aren't necessarily watching shows like this. I'm being honest with you. No judgment. We watch it. But some of these folks that are in these particular rooms aren't watching Housewives. But you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. Because I've seen and heard from other housewives who are their fans, people that you would never think watch Housewives. Yes, we know Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, blah, blah, blah. But no, there are some people you're like, oh, you watch Housewives? You know this housewife? It's always so interesting. And it's so interesting being here in Japan. I told you guys I met a young man by the name Justin. He is from Japan. He watches the content. He's been watching the content for the last few years. There are a few of you, a handful of you that are in Japan. I don't think I could come to Japan and do a show. But I love that. And I love that about the internet. It connects us all. But what I'm saying in regards to Kelly, I can't be mad at Kelly for doing this. Reportedly, they're all making $250,000 for a week of work. And some might say, is it really worth it if you go on there and, they tarnish your image or they use you and then all of a sudden you can't come back from that? Well, the only person so far that I feel like it's going to tarnish their image would be Kelly. Everyone else, it's an easy check. But if you think long term, because I randomly saw the video. I can't remember the actor's name, but he played the voice of in The Lion King. You remember him. He was also a young child star. And he talked about how his mother at the time, you guys know the story, I can't recall his name. He sang in The Lion King, young Simba. And they offered him a couple of $1 million for the role. And mom's decided, no, we're not going to do that. We would much rather take a lower pay and royalties for the movie in the future. And he said those royalties for the future have, when he gets that check every, whenever, he's like, that is some money that has kept sustained me during times when I didn't think I could. And a lot of these housewives, a lot of these reality TV stars aren't thinking that way. This is also a part of what the reality TV reckoning is about. It's not just about the abuses, it's about the future. A lot of these housewives, a lot of these reality TV stars are not making anything, not a lot. None of them are, unless they were a producer, aren't making anything off of these shows, the streaming and things like that. People are watching these shows constantly, making money for these streaming networks and these TV networks. This is what they're talking about. So $250,000 for 8 days is fantastic, but that's nothing to Peacock and Bravo once people sign up just to watch it. The residual folks that are going to get into it and watch it later, let them have it one successful season of, future seasons that will make people get that season and then watch other seasons. So they're making a lot of money. So $250,000 for each of them is really nothing for Peacock. It's nothing. So this is why they're talking about a reality TV reckoning. This is why they want to make, reality TV stars get some sort of residual. Look, that was a lot to say, but it was worth saying. It was worth saying because, like I said, I felt like this episode was all over the place. Dorinda chastises Kelly for conducting business, near them. She's like, go somewhere else. We're trying to have a good time and you're on the phone doing business and things like that. I'm having a sip for those that are listening, but for those that are watching, I found this it's called Nilts. I don't know, but it's some sort of water, but it's like a flavor. It has flavor to it. I mean, that's the other great thing about Japan that I didn't think. Look, I haven't. These last couple of months have been so hectic, especially since BravoCon. I was away for the majority of November, and then coming right into the holidays, 12 days of Christmas, last minute stuff, preparing for this trip to Japan. I came to Japan not doing a lot of homework or research besides cultural stuff. Like that's the thing. Like I've been hanging out with a couple of other tourists. And they've done their research on like certain things, like doing the tours and all the different places you want to go. And I did more of the like culturally, like how should you conduct yourself, and how does a train work, and things like that. So I feel like I'm here and I'm like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? So slowly but surely, not sure how I got there. Oh, snacks. I love the water. I've been having, look, I'll show you guys. For those that are listening, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube. But you guys told me that there's so many different flavors of Kit Kats. So I saw a strawberry one. The strawberry one I like. The regular Kit Kat chocolate tastes a little different. It actually tastes like dark chocolate. So it's probably better for you. Then I saw the matcha and I was like, I'm not a huge fan of matcha tea. But I said, let me try the Kit Kat. For them to do a whole Kit Kat about it, no, I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. I mean, I hate to throw it out, but I don't like it. Maybe I'll bring it home and give it to someone else. I didn't like it, personally. But that's a big thing here in Japan is a lot of the different drinks. Of course, I feel like, I will talk more about this in a separate video. But, and it's an exclusive podcast episode. But I feel like I am walking in an anime movie in Japan. Like, no joke. Like, the people are quiet and polite, but when you walk out to the street, it's sort of like you hear all these sounds from the TV screens and then the anime that's playing, and it's just, it really is like you're walking in in a animated place. It's very interesting. But I've been testing out all the snacks and things like that. I'm going to go to Kyoto for New Year's and things like that. But back to this. Watching Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip makes me want to go to St. Bart's. I've never been, but I kind of want to go to get that experience. And I'm not a big, like, beach person or anything like that. I know Jamaican, but I've never really been a big beach person or the Caribbean person. But now I kind of want to go, just even if it's like for a few days, maybe in the new year. Maybe in the new year, I should do like a little island hop thing, but we'll see. I don't love traveling like that either. So, speaking of traveling, guys, don't forget, January 25th, we have our first live show in New York City. Tickets are selling fast. I haven't gotten an update in regards to the meet and greets, but and this was a few days ago, the last I heard, we only had 11 tickets left for meet and greets in New York City. DC, you're selling even faster than New York, so shout out to you. We have our DC show on February 16th. More information and links to all that will be available in the description of the video episode and available on my Instagram. So if you click on my bio on Instagram, you'll be able to see the 2 links for the 2 different shows. And stay tuned. More information on more shows will be coming soon. 2024 is going to be a fantastic year. I'm just going to say that. It's going to be a fantastic year. All right. If you're watching this, though, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to let us know how you would rate episode 4 of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, rhony Legacy Edition. All right. And how you're feeling about these first 4 episodes. I have to say it's okay. And I think it's only okay because we didn't get the ideal cast that we wanted. You know, we didn't get a Bethany. We didn't get a Tinsley. We didn't get Jill Zarin. No matter how you feel about Jill, it's not about liking them. It's about the chemistry and what you're trying to do here. You can't really do a rhony legacy the same way you couldn't do a Aroa legacy, an Atlanta legacy, without a Nene leak. So don't even think about it. Look, don't even think about it, Bravo, Peacock. Don't even think about it. You can't do one and call it legacy with what you got. Because no one on this cast really, besides a Ramona and a Countess Luann, are really the legacy. Sonja, I scratched that. Sonja, she is definitely part of the rhony legacy. Like, that trifecta makes sense in regards to the legacy of rhony. Kristen, she knows that she was sort of like a last minute choice. Kelly, you also were a last minute choice in my head. I can't imagine they thought, let's bring Kelly back. They probably got there because that's who was available. And look, Bethany would not come back. I wouldn't mind seeing a Carol, but Carol has burned that bridge as well. Even Heather Thompson, I could have seen that happening. But anyways, just saying. Just my thoughts. So this episode, like I said, it's sort of like all over the place because at the top of it, it's issues with Kelly and Dorinda and Kristen. And then the issues with Dorinda and Kelly, just when they thought that they were in a good place, Kelly brings it back up. You said that I was, see you next Tuesday. And she's like, I didn't say that you were. I said you were acting like one. Okay. All right. How do you guys feel about that? I don't know. I feel like the episode was a lot like just like a hamster wheel of Kelly Ben Simone. For me, this episode wasn't great. So I probably would rate this episode between a 4 and a 6 in comparison to the first 3 episodes. And this is just a reminder for me and to the production. Kelly's not that interesting. Seeing Kelly, I think they wanted to relive the magic of Scary Island. Yeah, but Scary Island wasn't great just because of Kelly. It was great because of Sonja and Bethany. So, and mind you, I've watched this episode a couple of times, and I'm just sort of like, what do I want to say? What do I want to talk about? But I was like, you know what? We can catch up. It's been a while. The last recap that we did was Real Housewives of Miami and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If you missed any of those, be sure to check those out and let us know your thoughts on those episodes. But I wanted to do a quick recap and catch up about Ultimate Girls Trip. But it wasn't my favorite episode so far. And I said, let me watch it again. And maybe there's something that I want to say, or there's things that came out from it that were interesting. At one point, we got Countess Luann looks great. We've said this countless times. She's playing with this Girls Gone Wild hose. And I'm like, what else happened in this episode that's worth even talking about? Because it was constantly fighting between Kelly and Kristen. She's calling Kristen a fan. She's like, the fans aren't going. She had a conversation, Kelly and Luann were talking about what's going on with the ladies. And she's just like, the fans aren't going to like her. Blah, blah. And mind you, And I don't know how you feel. I feel like Kristen is coming across more likable on Ultimate Girls Trip than Kelly. Am I surprised by that? No, but I also didn't think that. I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't mind Kristen. Do I want Kristen to come back to Real Housewives of New York? No. First of all, she lives in California. And I don't want to see her in Beverly Hills or Orange County. I don't think she would fit in with them. I like her on Ultimate Girls Trip. Do I want to see her come back? Look, not so quickly. You know, they've already recycled these Ultimate Girls Trip ladies. Eva, Phaedra. Sidebar, Phaedra's in Tokyo. Random. Some of you are asking, like, did you guys plan? In what world would I be hanging out with Phaedra? Y'all need to pick one. I'm either paid by Candy or I'm not. I'm not paid by anyone, okay? And if so, they need to pay for this trip, okay? Anyway, no, I don't care. I'd much rather pay. I'd much rather have my integrity and pay for myself, all right? So, hey, Phaedra. Great minds think alike. Anyways. So Kristen for me is coming across more likable and enjoyable, and I don't think she needs to do Ultimate Girls Trip immediately. Maybe that's 2-3 seasons past. But I guess the dynamic could change if you plop her in with a group of people that we don't know. But Bravo and Peacock are at this time, and Andy said this during BravoCon, they're not really interested in doing an Ultimate Girls Trip anytime soon. They've been blasted by a lot of issues with these last two. Ramona Ferroni legacy. Before that, Morocco and the whole situation with Brandy and Caroline Manzo. And that seems to be all caught up. Not sure if we're even going to ever see it happen, which is a shame because I also love the Rhony Morocco trip. That was a great trip. But I think they really did miss the ball for Rhony Legacy by not being able to get who they wanted. You know, and I get it. Bethany would never do this again, ever. But, sidebar, was Bethany a producer of her spinoff? I don't think so. Because I was thinking to myself, if she was a producer, then she would get residuals. But I don't think she has producer credit on any of the Real Housewives or her spinoffs. Bethany, that was one smart move that you didn't make. But she did make a good one when it came with the Skinny Girl brand. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. that is all that matters. Homegirl came out sitting pretty by making that decision that they could not get a percentage of her brand. Not a lot of these housewives are doing that. A lot of these housewives are signing it off because their agents are saying, well, this is going to put you on a national platform. You need to give them something. The 360 deals they move from the music industry now to television. Now to television. Anyways, guys. What was else that I want to say about this episode? I'm trying to think of everything that played out because by the end of this episode, we have Kelly and Dorinda having their issues, and Dorinda's just like, I can't with this woman. We went from being good, having a conversation and being good, to back to the same place where we were before. Is what it is. I mean, it's Kelly. And I honestly don't think, I know some people are going to say it's a mental thing, or I don't think it is. I think there are just certain people, certain personalities that just don't mesh well and aren't necessarily, they're just like I don't think Kelly's ever going to change. I don't think Kelly, I need to look at Kelly, look, I'm looking at Kelly's, oh damn. I'm going to look up Kelly's astrological sign. Kelly Ben Simone. I need to look up. And then Kelly's engaged. She's not engaged. Kristen's like, oh, maybe I'll get invited to the wedding. You just never know. Kelly, first of all, she's 55 years old. I mean, she looks good. Kelly looks good. I don't know why she would even do. Oh, damn. I keep forgetting. You guys did tell me she's a Taurus. Oh, my. Woo, woo, woo. Taurus. Kelly, why are you a Taurus? Well, you know what? One of the best things about her is that she has drive. She's gotten her education. She always gets her hands on the bag. Look, I'm trying to help her. I don't know what else is going on. This is why it's important to know your full chart, y'all. You can't just go by your sun sign. That's why I say I don't necessarily relate to a lot of the Tauruses that are on reality television. But why is Kelly another? I never knew that Kelly was a Taurus until you guys started telling me before, and I was like, oh, she's born May 1st, 1968. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Damn. Wow, wow. Well, okay. Well, apparently she's engaged. And randomly these things come out of Kelly's mouth. But like I said, this has nothing to do with her sun sign, apparently. Because you'd think she'd be a little bit more grounded. This is why I would need to see her chart. I wouldn't be surprised she has some air in her chart. Because she just seems to be, not some air. She probably has a lot of air in her chart. All right, Kelly. Look, do I feel different about Kelly? No, I feel the same way that I feel about all these messy, terrible Tauruses that misrepresent our sign. Damn, another one bites the dust. I'm so mad about this. It is what it is. But I'm going to continue to watch. There's only 4 more episodes. I believe there's only 8 episodes left of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip rhony Legacy Edition. If you missed our previous recap, be sure to check that out. And don't forget, you can also listen to these live recaps, including additional content on the Kempire podcast, available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. And for more information on our 2 live shows that have been announced and are selling fast, both in New York City and in DC, more information will be available in the episode description. So go check it out. Go get your tickets. Don't wait too long. I know some of you are waiting, but some of you got your Christmas money. Go get your tickets. Excited for our live show. So if you enjoy us talking about hot topics, Real Housewives, and more, this is the show to be, because it's going to be unfiltered, a lot of fun, and me and you. All right. I will see you guys then. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for those that are listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and head on over to your YouTube app and subscribe to Kempire on YouTube and Kempire Radio on YouTube as well. And follow me on social media. Everything TheKempire.com will give you links to everywhere. All right. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this latest episode, because I felt like it was all over the place. I'm trying to remember every single thing that happened, and I'm like, it felt like it was just about Kelly. Kelly was just all over the place. That's fine. That's fine. Let's get out of here, y'all. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse.